Hi everybody, I'm making this video to help you get started on your vocabulary. Not every story will have vocabulary, but the majority of them will. I find that if you associate the words with pictures or um, videos, you're more likely to remember them. I don't want you just to memorize vocabulary. I want you to learn the vocabulary and understand the vocabulary. Because if you just memorize it, you're going to forget it after after you give me the definition. So I don't want that. I want you to be able to use the vocabulary on and on and on. So with each unit, there's academic vocabulary to start out with. These will probably be the hardest parts, the hardest words that you come across. Other words that you come across in stories tend to be a little bit easier to do because they're in context already. In context means that they're words that you can tell what they mean by the words around them and how they're used. And that's the best way to learn them anyway. So let's look at the academic vocabulary for the first unit. You need to do all of the meanings of all the words, but you only need to do pictures for half of the words. Now, if you do pictures for more, that's great, and I am more than happy to give you a couple of extra credit points on the assignment if you go all out and do it all. I would do it myself just because I want to learn what the words are. So we're going to look at the word discriminate first. So I'm going to look it up in a dictionary. Now you can look it up in a dictionary on your phone, online. You can get a real book. They make actual book dictionaries. That's fine. When you look at a dictionary entry, words always mean more than one thing. There's never just this word only means this. We use words in lots of different ways. So when we look at discriminate or discrimination, we've got a prejudiced outlook, we've got the quality of power of finally distinguishing, and we've got the act of making or perceiving a difference. Now, technically, any one of these would be correct. The second definition is confusing, so I'm going to stay away from that one just because it doesn't make sense to me anyway. Okay, I'm going to look at here prejudiced. That one's okay. Number 3, the act of perceiving a difference, discriminating. This one, number 3, makes sense in a way that you can discriminate between two things that are different, and you can discriminate by treating them badly. So I'm going to use 3A as my definition. I prefer that you type it in yourself, but we all know how that's going to go. Okay, copied and pasted it in there. I'd rather have you type it, but here we are. The act of making or perceiving a difference. You want to double check to make sure that if you copied and pasted it, that it looks clean and neat. I don't want a lot of extra spaces. I don't want a lot of extra punctuation and stuff, okay? I'm not making you do the part of speech that it is, so it should be good. Now, picture. Picture is going to be tricky for a lot of them. The picture needs to be something that helps you remember. So if I'm thinking it's the act of looking at differences. It's the act of looking at differences. So when I looked up for this picture online, I found this picture, and there's a lot of reasons I like this picture. It could be simply grouping things into two groups because they're different colors, which is a type of discriminate. You discriminate between two colors, and you don't want all of your carrots mixed in with your peas or whatever. So that's a type of discrimination. You're discriminating that way. But it can also mean that you're leaving somebody out or you're treating them different because of some perceived difference. And it could be a lot of things. So I like this one. Plus, our first story is what if this goldfish would you wish? And it has fish in it, so I like that. Now, depending on what browser you use, sometimes you can copy the image and paste it right in there. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes you have to save it first. I like to use Chrome, and I like to, as my search engine, I like to use Yahoo because I know for sure that I can just copy and paste images. I can't guarantee that about the other ones. You might have to save it to your computer before you put it in. So I use that. And so now when I go, maybe I would need to study for a vocabulary quiz, which I can't imagine I would do, but you never know. I might need to. I can see that this word is here and it means that. Okay? So that's my example of how to do my vocabulary activities. Vocabulary is really important, especially if English is not your first language, or if you have some sort of processing disability, or even ADD, or maybe you're better at math than you are at language arts. This, I am hoping, will give you some sort of easier way to make connections with words. Also, we're limited because of the digital part. If we were in person, we could have more different ways of doing this, but for now, this is what we've got. Let me know again if there's anything that we can do to make online learning easier for you, better for you. If there's a setup or a support that we can do for you, you're welcome to make an appointment with me, and I'll go over vocabulary with you at any time, especially if you're not really sure which definition you should use. I can definitely help clear that up. Be good, stay out of trouble.